Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Afternoon, ma'am.
afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Just a moment, I'm sharing my slide with you. Is the slide visible?
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. So, in the last class, we had completed our discussion on interpersonal relationships. Now we move over to the next aspect of interpersonal relationships related to, of course, leadership management, team management, and that is emotional intelligence. It's a short topic, but a very interesting one. And I would suggest that those of you who are not into this, who have not heard of it, or who have not ventured into this domain, uh, get into reading articles about emotional intelligence, because this is just a small subtopic. So we won't be venturing into too much of details of emotional intelligence or emotionally intelligent conversation, which is the exact topic in your syllabus, but a very very essential part of communication, something that I believe if we as humans also understand, and we as managers or as members of a team understand, that our communication, our conversations can be should be emotionally intelligent. I feel most of the conflicts that we come across, most of the problems that we face, those problems can be overcome to a certain extent, right? Now, what is emotional intelligence? Mayer and Salovey, they gave this. They talked about emotional intelligence in 1997, and what they said was that it is the ability to perceive emotions, to access and generate emotions. So, just pay attention to the terms that have been used: to perceive emotions, to access the emotions, and to generate emotions, so as to assist thought, to understand emotions and emotional knowledge, and to reflectively regulate emotions so as to promote emotional and intellectual growth. Will anybody just maybe try and interpret the meanings of the key terms that have been used here? Perceive emotions, access the emotions, generate emotions, and then to assist thought, understand emotions and emotional knowledge. What do you mean by that? But please take one at a time.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm like generate emotions, like we are talking some about something, like we are praising someone, so we would like to be happy about that. So we would create a like happy emotion for them, like smile while we are talking.
Okay, so you mean to say that you connect with somebody in a way that you're able to generate positive feelings or emotions in the other person, right?
Depending on the situation.
Depending upon the situation. So it has to do with what kind of emotions you trigger in that particular situation, right, Parth? That's what you're trying to
Yes,
say,
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Vihan.
Ma'am, I think it boils down to empathizing again.
Yes,
A
of
lot of,
course.
yeah, perceive emotions and access emotions, those 2 points generally relate to empathizing with other people, and generating emotions is just to understand your own emotions so you know how to feel in certain situations.
Yeah, that's very true and very nicely explained, Vihan. And to reflect and to reflectively regulate emotions, what do we, they've not used the word effectively. Reflectively regulate emotions. So, the words that are used by people in the definitions that they give, they are very, very smartly chosen. So, what do you mean by reflectively regulating the emotions?
Other person can see what you are trying to emote.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Reflectively regulating emotions. What do you mean by reflection? Am I visible?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, you are now,
Now
ma'am.
it's good.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So, yeah. So, what do you mean by reflectively, regulating? What do you mean by regulation? What do you mean by regulating something?
I'm making it flow. I mean,
Yes, in a certain
directing it.
direction,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
And reflectively, when you reflectively regulate emotions, what happens?
Depending on the condition, you reflect them. Kind of depending on the situation.
Okay.
I
So,
think.
okay, yes, reflectively means that you reflect upon something, you ponder over. That is, you do not react to a situation, rather, you respond to your situation. What is the difference between reaction and response? Yes? Is there any difference, or
Ma'am,
are these terms
in
synonymous to each other?
reaction,
Yeah.
we try to say what we think would be the best choice for them, and in the other one we make our decision based on their best interest.
Okay, good. Yes,
Ma'am,
Divya.
reaction is. Oh,
Reaction is instantaneous, while a response has some decoding in it.
Okay. Yes, good. Yes, Yuvraj.
ma'am, exactly what Divyam said.
Exactly. So when you ponder over something, when you have thought over something, when you give that cooling time to yourself, and then reflecting over a situation, and then you answer a situation, that is response. But when it is not without any reflection, without any thinking, without any second thoughts, that is reaction. You react. It is always at the spur of the moment, right? Yes, Rama?
Yes, ma'am.
You raised your hand here.
No, ma'am, by mistake.
No problem. Okay. Right. So it is, when we talk about emotional intelligence, it is a very, very, important, let's say, a quality that is sought after in people nowadays, particularly in managers. So there is a reason why, apart from technical questions, there are all sort of other situational questions asked during an interview to understand, what is your EQ level. Apart from the IQ level, you can be very intelligent, but being a topper in the class doesn't mean that you are a person who can manage people, who can manage situations also, or you have a sharp people skills also, right? So you have the ability to understand your own emotions, know what your how manage being able to manage your own emotions, and then also being able to regulate the emotions of the people around you is what entails emotional intelligence, right? The people, if you have high degree of emotional intelligence, you are able to strike conversations that are balanced, and it is very, very important for your personal and professional success. Now, what are the key elements of emotional intelligence? Like Daniel Goleman, an American psychologist, is the one who is who is attributed with popularizing pay attention, okay, emotional intelligence, and he talks about 5 key elements of emotional intelligence, that is self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. That is, who is an emotional intelligent individual. An emotional intelligent individual is self-aware, knows how to self-regulate, is motivated, has empathy, and has very sharp, very sharp social skills. And when you have all these five key elements, or if you have awareness of these five key elements, obviously the conversations that you end up striking with people are going to be emotionally intelligent conversations. That is, conversations wherein uh, aggression is not there, where frustration is not there, where you're not totally, you're too much emotionally charged. So there is that balance which is required in certain situations. And if you can do that, well, you are a good conversationalist. Right now, what do we understand with self-awareness? You people will be studying a behavioral science where you will be taught SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That is how to understand yourself, right? And understand how you feel, understanding what my emotions are and how my emotions can affect people around me. It is about understanding my strengths and weaknesses. It is about being humble. Self-awareness is actually a reality check. It is that introspection, right? It is that, that intrapersonal communication that we were talking about. And it is very, very important to strike a conversation with yourself. Try to understand yourself. If I am the boss, let me take the example, if I'm your teacher, as your teacher, I need to understand what my strengths and weaknesses are. I need to be very true to myself. I need to know where I stand. I need to know what are those qualities, or what are those vices in me, which if I unleash, how it can affect the situation around me. Do you know, very emotional people are also very dangerous. How will you interpret this statement? Yes, very, very emotional people are also very dangerous. How will you interpret this statement? Yes, Parth.
The emotional people might try to help the other person in order to make them happy. So in the process, they might not do the things that they want to do because the other person might get hurt.
Very good. That's a very good example. Yes, yes, Vihan.
Someone who's overly emotional could perceive something to be a lot more than it actually is. A
Wonderful.
lot of
Yes.
misconceptions and other things. For example, if you bump into someone, they might take that really seriously and beat you up or something. Or if
True.
you do something
True.
unintentionally, they might think you didn't do it unintentionally and try to get. It's a big mess.
It's a big mess. True. Road rage cases, most of the times they are result of very, sometimes situations that were just a non-issue. They were non-issues, right? Yes, Nivyam.
Ma'am, more emotional people react rather than respond.
Yes, they react rather than respond. Yes, Rama.
And ma'am, their reaction probably be the anger or the fear, and they may
Yes.
cause most of the problems.
They sometimes end up harming themselves. They end up harming people around themselves. And then we have the other extreme. We have the emotionally drained people. These are the two extremes. We have the emotionally drained people, and they are also equally very yes, Divyam, you've raised your hand.
Ma'am, I forgot to bring it
Okay,
down.
okay, no problem. Emotionally drained people, again, that level of sensitivity, or sometimes people project themselves to be, okay, that I am not that kind of an emotional fool, right? So if you are on these two extremes, like you are emotionally drained in the sense that you do not, you're not that sensitive, or you do not perceive the situations from the viewpoint of other people, that if a person is feeling too hurt by a certain situation, there could be probably some reason or some background about it. They do not, they can sometimes they consider a matter that could be very serious from somebody as a trivial. So that again is very problematic. You cannot be, if you're on these two extremes, you are not an emotionally balanced person. You need to understand yourself, how your responses are compelling the people and the situation around you to behave and to react. If people around you are lying, Well, some problem could be there within you also, that why are you being lied to? So I need to be self-aware. If I want some response from my class, I cannot just just put the entire responsibility or the onus on my respondents. I too need to take some responsibility, some onus on myself, right? So if you feel that that sense of self-awareness, or if you do not understand yourself, what to do? Keep a journal and slow down a bit. How does keeping a journal help us? How will keeping a
It
journal
allows
help?
us to self-reflect.
Yes, many people, they write their diaries. Many people write down their thoughts and ideas, and moreover, that helps you to unleash those pent up emotions rather than on a person, to yourself in that diary, which becomes a way of that is a kind of an outlet. And when you're purged means when you are, you have drained yourself out of all those excess of emotions, then you are in a calm state of mind where you can somewhat objectively understand the situation, understand the other person. And then if you respond to that situation, trust me, your response will be very different from what it would have been in the morning and what it is now maybe in the evening. Slow down means, sometimes we are in such a hurry, in such a frenzy in our life, taking decisions, regulating the things around us. Sometimes it is very important to take a break, to just take out time for our own self, and then invest something on understanding my own self also. So self awareness again is very, very important. I should know, if I'm a leader, what kind of a leader I am. If my style of leadership is autocratic, then I need to really introspect why, what is the reason behind it. If I'm autocratic, maybe there is some kind of an insecurity inside me, or maybe I feel that I suffer from some kind of a superiority, some kind of a complex, that I do not give importance to people around me. And why don't I give importance to people around me? What's wrong in giving importance or the due respect or the due credit to the people around me? So there can be n number of root causes behind how you react, what you are, and how you are perceiving the people around you. Then we talk about self regulation. Again, being in control, that's what we discussed just now, right? Leaders who regulate themselves effectively, they are able to avoid those verbal attacks on other people. That is, you are able to contain your emotions. You're able to pull the reins of the emotional horses. And when compared to those people who simply just react, right? They simply just blast off. So do you think these kind of reactions, if somebody screams at you, shouts at you, blasts you off, does it have some any kind of a constructive change or influence over you? Yes. If
Could
some
you
if
repeat the question?
have you ever behaved in such a way, reacted in such a way, where you have maybe reacted at a person, blasted a person, shouted at a person, screamed at a person, and then expecting a change in the behavior? Yes, Yuvraj?
No, ma'am, by mistake. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, anybody else? Yes, Ricky?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the question, Ricky?
Yeah, that if we have reacted very angrily or shouted at someone.
Has it actually helped you in controlling that situation or in regulating the behavior of that individual? Or has it ever happened with you?
No, I actually haven't blasted off at someone, but it happened the opposite.
Okay, somebody blasted you off.
Yes, ma'am. But actually, when someone did this, when someone does this to me, I actually,
Recoil,
I, uh, uh,
recoil or react? Yes, Ricky. Does is the person able to make you change or behave in the way that person wants you to?
no, ma'am. Actually, it's dependent upon situation that why he is why
Hmm.
he is shouting at me. So actually, if he start like at one time, my friend, one of my friend was uh, he started a prank, some type of prank. Okay,
Yeah.
so he after a while he got angry and started shouting at me.
Hmm.
Actually, because he started it first, so actually I also got angry. So if I would have started it first, then I would not have been angry.
Okay. Okay. So maybe you're more of a
So
person.
yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
So it depends upon the situation, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Satvik.
We need to react in such that manner to
Hmm.
get your point through. Like when someone is not ready to listen to you,
So does that have
when they
that
are,
impact on the person, Satvik?
ma'am, sometimes it will help them to calm them down because if the other person is also angry,
Hmm.
they will be not be in the position to listen to you, right? In
Hmm.
that situation, this might help. Like it might not 100%, but
Hmm.
sometimes it might help.
Okay. Okay. But okay, yes, but then it is situational. But I feel the impact that we want to have on the other person might not be long lasting. People will end up doing again the same act that you want them not to do, or maybe it's going to be a temporary change. Is That's what my personal opinion is, right? So a self-regulated person, a person who is in control of his or her emotions, like we are emphasizing the leaders over here, their decisions are never rash, their reactions are never rash. They avoid stereotyping people because it's very easy to typecast people into certain kind of a mold. He is like that, he is lazy, he's not a go-getter, or compromise their values. They are people of principles. When you are a man of principles, when you are an individual who has certain principles, certain rules to live by, you will always be a self-regulated person. Why? Because there are certain strings of discipline attached to you. And when you have those strings of discipline attached to you, it is not easy for such people to kind of uh, go astray from their ideology, from their thoughts. They are more, you can say, just say we use the word in Hindi, ठहराव. They are very mature. They know they are able to contain and control the people and the situation. So what if you feel you're not a self-regulated person? Do you have a set of values or rules that govern or guide your life or your own behaviors? If you do not, set some rules for yourself, right? Set some principles that will be the yardstick to guide you, to govern your and help you to govern your emotions. And take responsibility, take charge. Self regulation means I am responsible. If you remember, when we were discussing the first module, communication, where we had discussed about the goal oriented communication, that is, our messages, they should be receiver centric. If your messages are receiver centric, it means you are an emotionally intelligent person, right? So holding yourself accountable, like what the Britishers do. Britishers, they belong to the okay, I don't want to get into the context of culture at the moment. We'll be taking it up later in detail. So when we talk about Britishers, they are known to be low context, in the sense they take responsibility of the message that they are communicating. Hence, their words, the sentences that they frame, they are very well and very smartly calculated. They will not make a move, or they will not utter a word of which they are unsure that the impact on the other person will be something else than what is intended. So they take responsibility of the message they are trying to communicate. And according to that, they frame their messages. What happens with us Indians? What is the general tendency that we people have when we are communicating with people? Of course, this is a sweeping generalization, but how do we react to a certain situation?
We expect the other person to listen and to interpret
Understand.
the message in the same way that we intended
Yeah,
to.
we expect, we assume. And if you, and that, you must have often heard people saying that, okay, you didn't understand, it's your problem, not my problem. Right? That's not what I meant. If you understood it, it's your problem. So we need to hold ourselves accountable. If my team is not working the way I expect my team to work, where are the things going wrong? I cannot always pin the responsibility on my subordinates and always hold them accountable. You are wrong here, you are wrong there. I need to take the accountability. I need to hold myself also responsible that there can be something wrong in my supervision. There can be something wrong in the manner in which I am conducting my team. Practice, like they say, practice the pause, practice being calm. If you're somebody who is short tempered, if you're somebody who's intolerant, sometimes we're intolerant because we are perfectionist also. Who is a perfectionist? Akshit Tyagi. Who is a perfectionist, Akshit?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Akshit. Who is a perfectionist?
Ma'am, perfectionist is a ma'am. Well, according to me, no one is perfect. And secondly, perfectionist is the one who himself thinks that he is perfect in every work he does, and also and also he also thinks that the way which he uses to do the work is also perfect, and everyone should implement to that.
Okay, very good, Akshit. Yes, Prajwal.
Ma'am, perfectionist is a person who strives and obsesses over perfection in his works.
True, right. Yes, Parth.
It is a personality trait according to which the person tries to do the work in the most perfect way and expects other person to do the work in the same way that he is doing.
So is this problematic? Yes.
Ma'am, perfectionist is the one who likes everything around him to be perfect, and everything he does to be it should be perfect. And sometimes it's problematic because everything and all around him cannot be by his way, his or her way.
Good.
Sometimes it's problematic.
Yes. Yes, Rama.
It is that setting exclusively high performance standard that others cannot break or reach to that.
Okay, no, setting a high performance standard is good, but freaking about perfection, that's problematic. If you're missing your deadlines because of that level of perfection that you want, sometimes smart work is what is the need of the hour, and in the process of that attaining that perfect moment, you tend to miss the deadlines, and if you're skipping the deadlines, then your perfectionist approach becomes your weakness, right? So, and at times you become intolerant of other people because they are not performing the way you are expecting them to perform, right? So obviously, this is also a situation when we tend to react, or when we tend not to be disrespectful towards other people. So we need to practice being calm, and for which at times meditation actually helps you. Motivation, that's another factor. When we talk about emotionally intelligent people, they are self-motivated people, right? They have, again, the point that we had just now mentioned, they have extremely high standards for the quality of work, right? So having high standards is not bad. So perfectionism and having high standards are two different things, right? Perfectionism is that sometimes that streak of that you know goes to the verge of being cynical, sometimes actually crazy. So that is where it goes wrong, right? So from where does motivation come? Is motivation within you, or does the motivation come from the surroundings?
From both, ma'am. Sometimes within yourself, sometimes from the surroundings.
Okay. Yes, Vihan?
I think it depends on the individual, ma'am. Some people are self-motivated, other people need people to push them. There's no one way.
Yes. It doesn't work one way. Very true. Who are these? Yes, Parth.
Actually, I have a doubt. Aren't perfectionists be better leaders?
Perfectionists, I will not say can be better leaders. Perfectionists can also be leaders, but the problem with people who are perfectionist is that, like I said, sometimes meeting deadlines, the work they will do will be really good, but sometimes the work is delayed. I suffer from
But the
perfectionism
people
at
which
times.
they select
Yes.
perfectionist will be like up to their standards. So the deadline work is not meeting the deadline is only the initial problem. Once you establish your team of
No,
people
that's
like
what I'm
you,
saying, no, Parth. If you are meeting the deadlines, if you're not being a nonsense to other people, if you accept that if you are a perfectionist, other people might have different ways of doing the same thing. That is self-awareness. No, that is being aware of the people around you. That is what is empathy all about, because everybody is not a perfectionist. You will generally find that people who are, the writers, people who are given to works like writing or the sculpting or these kind of arts, you will find these people by instinct they are perfectionist. Why? Because their profession or their hobby is such, if it is a hobby, that if you're writing something, a draft, uh, a write up, you cannot entertain, you cannot tolerate that superfluous word or sentence or idea in your writing. You keep improving it, you keep improving that till the time that that perfect piece is there ready with you, which you want. So it can work both ways, Parth. Both ways, in the sense that if I'm a perfectionist and I'm not able to meet deadlines, then well, my perfectionism is my weakness, right? If I am expecting the same from the people around me, and in the process I am ignoring their own creativity, I'm ignoring their talent which they might have, I'm ignoring, sometimes people are very good at what do you say, dealing with at improvising. Fine. So if I'm not acknowledging the uniqueness of other people and expecting them to be my carbon copy, then it is a problem, Parth. Being a perfectionist is a good quality, but then, like they say, beyond certain limits, even your qualities, they become your weaknesses. We cannot trust perfectionism on everyone. Setting standards is different, and being obsessed with perfectionism is different. I mean, to the extent that, okay, this chair is out of place and the boss is coming back from the cabin and saying that, why is this chair out of its place? Now, if your perfectionism, goes to this level, then it is a problem, no, Parth?
yes, ma'am, I'm saying in the product that some company develops a product, that product needs to be just perfect, not about the chair thing.
Yeah, that's good. I'm saying, Parth, that this is a quality. This is good. But if you are missing deadline after deadline, time is money. You will lose out
Ma'am,
your
understood.
deals. You will lose out your projects. Sometimes we need to keep that gap. We need to sometimes take risk also, Parth.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes we have to be happy with, okay, fine, this is the near perfection, because that perfection is a myth. That state of utmost perfection cannot be achieved,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So to understand that where we need to stop, that is important. Yes, Rama.
Ma'am, the mistake occurs when we think that only we can do perfect work and other can not do the
Other
works.
cannot. Yes. Right, very true, very true. So coming back to our original question, that is motivation. There are like you people have mentioned, either we are self-motivated, we are so strong that we have the drive from inside, we get the kick, that necessary kick from inside, or there are factors around us. For example, there will be somebody, that crucial presence in your life, consistently motivating you, giving you that required push. Oh, you have it in you, come on, you can do it. Or sometimes we have those negative feedbacks that we get from people around us. Oh, this is tumhare bas ki nahi hai. And we get that, that kick from the immediate environment around us. Oh, I'm going to prove myself. So it can be both ways. However, I personally feel that there can be no stronger an individual other than the person who is self-motivated. If your motivation depends upon the external factors, then you will always wait for that external push, that somebody will be coming, will be there encouraging you, pushing you, and then you have to reach that next level. No, that if you have the motivation coming from within you, then you are a very, very strong person. So if you are, if you lack in motivation, whether from within or from without, you need to find out the why of the what of a particular situation. If it is related to why it is happening, what is happening, you need to be practical, you need to be actually logical and real. Reality check. Where do you stand? What is your position? And have an optimistic mindset. That's very, very important. Have a very, very optimistic. Only a leader who is self-motivated can enthuse motivation in other people. I across this quote today, and I actually used, I'll share this quote with you on leadership, and I actually used it as my WhatsApp status today itself. It actually interested me. I found it very motivating. External motivation. Yeah, leadership is the ability to get extraordinary achievement from ordinary people. So a very oft, you must have heard this quote often. So being a leader is not easy. Being a leadership is not about, always telling people what to do. It's about getting the best out of them. It is about listening to them. It is about taking ideas from them, not always giving the idea. Right? It is about pushing them to go to the next level, not being insecure that if I motivate this person, if I make this person realize what are the qualities, then this person will take my position one day or will be on a higher level than I am today. That is not leadership, right? So that is what self-awareness is all about. And like you rightly said, empathy, which is very, very critical to managing a successful team or organization. And empathy is that, that quality that we have been discussing so much in the course of our discussions, putting yourself into other person's shoes. If you really do not know how to empathize with people, this is what you need to do. You need to assess the situation from your viewpoint. Pay attention, learn the non-verbal communication, and start practicing the art of responding to feelings. If you cannot, if you're on the other end of the tangent of the spectrum, you are low on emotions, you are not, you're drained out of emotions, you're emotionally dry a person. We do come across, often than not, I don't think there is any person who's devoid of emotions, but sometimes people put up that pretense of being emotionally drained. But then you need to be expressive at times, right? I'd like to share this video. I hope I'm able to share it with you. Just a moment. Oh. Won't be able to show this video. I don't know, something's actually wrong. I'm not able to use peer deck also today. Anyways, I'll show it later maybe. I'll play this video later. I had actually very interesting videos to share, but something's gone wrong with Peer Deck. Okay, so next we come to the social skills. Now, what are social skills? People skills or social skills of, of dealing with the people and the situations around you. When let's focus on how leaders do it. Leaders are supposed to have, effective leaders are supposed to have excellent social skills. That is how they deal with the good news and the bad news, that maintaining that necessary balance, right? How do they get the support and admiration and the respect of their team, right? And how they are always excited about a new mission or a project, and they're also able to enthuse or kind of their enthusiasm is so infectious that they can, even their team starts feeling or starts getting equally enthusiastic about a project or a mission, because that is what their leader is showcasing, right? Leaders must have excellent social skills in dealing with the team members around them, in dealing with the situations around them, in dealing with those tough, difficult employees, and also in dealing with those emotionally sensitive employees, understanding their needs, understanding. Did I share that example with you of this diamond merchant in Mumbai?
Yes, ma'am, the car one.
Yes. So just imagine what must be the emotional intelligence, the EQ level of this gentleman, who, how this company, this individual, they are so into their employees, how sharp and how high, how well, you can say, chiseled their social skills must have been, that they're able to get their team to work for them. They pay attention to the happiness quotient. This particular video, which again I don't think so this one will also play. Oh, great. Just a moment, please. I'll share this video with you. Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't think I don't know what you're doing.
Hey, I don't know what you're complaining about. I was late just once this week, and it was only 6 minutes.
It's not the minutes, it's the principle of the thing. You have got an attitude on you a mile wide, and that's what's killing me. The others on the team, they're having to work harder to fill in for you. You see, I can't win, I mean, I yell at you, it affects the morale of the rest of the team. You know what I think? I think you're slacking off on purpose, aren't you?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't cut it out real fast, I'm going to take some action.
Oh, what action are you going to take, Raphael? You're going to fire me for being 6 minutes late?
Take it any way you like.
Are you threatening me?
I don't get paid enough on this job to have to deal with this kind of junk. Now, I don't want to take drastic action, but if you keep pushing me...
Yes. So how would you assess this video? What was happening here?
Ma'am, the manager is a perfectionist.
Okay. Seems to be a man of principles. Is intolerant of somebody coming late. Yes. What else?
That ma'am has zero empathy for someone else.
Okay. You find that the manager lacks the empathy quotient. Yes. What else did you notice?
And the manager has noticed that the employee is not serious about her work. She's not caring her. that being late is not good, and she's acting like, oh, it's okay, nothing
Very
happened.
casual approach.
Casual.
Yes. Very casual. Good. Good. Yes, Satvik.
Ma'am, I think the manager does not like his job also, because he is feeling that he's not getting paid enough. So he's also like not happy in doing that. So he's like bursting out on the employees also.
Okay, great. That was a very sharp observation, Satvik. Yes, Rama.
Ma'am, the manager don't want to know what the reason behind that she is late. The reason is casual or some important.
Okay, great. Yes, that's very true. Yes, yes, Nibir. Yes, Vihan.
A couple of things. First thing, she should have been on time, but I don't think his reaction was what she deserved for being that just 6 minutes late. Like, I understand maybe some sort of warning or something, but he went on after, which he didn't deserve. But if you look towards the end of the video, he stopped after he saw that it was affecting the rest of the team, which shows that he has some form of compassion. He's expecting some sort of change from her, which he's not getting.
Right. So,
Ma'am, to be
yeah.
honest, he himself said that when I scold you or say something to you, the whole team's morale goes down. But the fact that she's repeatedly getting coming late to the work, also deserves some action. We can't say it's completely unnecessary going on a rant,
Just a moment,
going
please. Is
scolding her.
somebody unmuted and running a video or something? Okay, please continue. I'm so sorry. Yes, continue, Vihan.
Ma'am Prajwal.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Prajwal. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, that's all. I don't think it was very unnecessary. The fact that the manager had to stop talking just because the team, he has some he has a power over the team. Like he even says that I think you are flagging off intentionally, because even if he scolds her and something, the whole team just I don't know, pressures him into not doing that because the morale goes down.
The morale goes down, right? So that's what when we somewhere I personally feel at that, and if we judge only this particular moment, at this particular moment it was the reaction of the leader is not very like we say, it is not a very emotionally intelligent conversation going on between the two, and even the reaction of the employee is not a very mature reaction. Like when we talk about 6 minutes, if we do not correct a person for 6 minutes, being late for 6 minutes one day, second day, third day, like it becomes a habit, it becomes a pattern. So like he says that it is not about 6 minutes, it's about principle, right? So both I feel that both in case of both the employee and the leader, if we try to assess both of them, it is not a very emotionally intelligent response to the situation. And when you are an individual who is not able to handle people, don't have very sharp people skills or social skills, you need to work on your conflict resolution capacity, you need to improve on your communication skills, the selection, the choice of words. Does that mean you're going to fire me over being 6 minutes late? If so that's anything that you might like to think. So what are you doing? The situation is going out of control, out of your hand, right? And maybe this conversation could have taken place in the cabin. This also could have been one way of dealing with the situation, isn't it? Or maybe like after a quiet warning, maybe something in writing could have been given, that this is a warning in writing to you and you need to mend your ways. So there are different ways of handling situation, there are different ways of resolving the conflict issues, and also sending a message. You will find that intelligent leaders, they, whenever there is some problem in the team, sometimes, and they feel that a similar problem can be there in other people or might crop up in other people also, they will call a common meeting, and then they will communicate the message to everyone without pinpointing the finger to one single individual, so that the message is clear to every individual in the team and specifically to the person concerned without naming the person. This is also one way of the conflicts and ensuring that everybody gets a message. So improving your conflict resolution is a very, very important skill that a leader is supposed to have. Communication skills goes without saying, and like I had mentioned just now, learning the art of praising others, right? Being sensitive towards others, recognizing the qualities that others possess. And when we talk about the skills for effective communication, language skills, verbal and non-verbal communication, understanding the interpersonal dynamics, and having high emotional intelligence. This is something that we have already taken care of, so I'm not going to get into the details of this. It's already 1:09 and there's yet another video or two that I had to share with you. That we have to learn to harness emotionally intelligent conversations. We need to be emotionally intelligent people at the end of the day. And trust me, if you will start making an assessment of your own self, even today, even for 5 minutes after the class, you will understand that where do you stand, how emotionally intelligent you are, what kind of communication do you conduct with people around you, what is your selection of words. Particularly when we talk about emotionally intelligent conversations, it has to do with those critical situations rather than the normal day-to-day situations, right? How do you handle those criticalities and those critical people? How receptive you are to the feedback that you get from your employees, not just the feedback that you give to the employees. How open you are to the creative ideas, and how do you appreciate the creative ideas that people come up with. When you give feedback to the employees, that would have been the next topic, or that will be the next topic that we will be taking up. When you give feedback to the employees, what is your manner of giving the feedback, and how do you ensure that if it is a negative feedback, it is received by a person in nicely, and you're able to motivate the person to improve upon the areas of improvement. So these are not very easy things, like theoretically it might seem very easy that yes, this is what emotional intelligence is all about, and this is what I'm supposed to do if I have to be emotionally intelligent. You really need to work on it every day, every moment, and begin by improving upon yourself. That's from where your learning, emotional learning begins. Prajwal, is there anything that you want to emphasize?
Ma'am, I just wanted to uh, add to the video thing. You said that you were talking for a long time, so I think we kind of lost that point topic.
No, it's
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
Actually, we can't tell anything about that clip because anything to be to judge the person, because the clip was very short and we didn't have enough context of it. It might be that the worker was at fault there and doing that for a long time and
Yeah,
slacking
we're
off
working on assumptions on the
mentally.
reaction of that person, of the leader. Yeah, the manager.
Yes, ma'am, but we don't have the
Yeah.
context for it,
Yes.
because it
Yes, of
could be
course.
that uh, the worker was at fault, but it could also be that it was her first time and the manager was just overreacting.
Yeah, that also
So we can't,
absolutely right. Absolutely true, Prajwal.
yes, ma'am. So we can't judge on the
But
basis
even
of
if
that
the
small
person is
2 minutes.
being late for the first time, we need to have that control, that restraint,
Yes,
that
ma'am. That's why I said
self-regulation. Yeah.
overreacting.
Yes. True. Yeah.
Ma'am, although
So
she only mentioned for 1 week, like I was week late for 1 day for this week only. So she might be late before months also. That's where the manager.
That could also be a possibility, of course, you know. Because that's we are assessing from the body language of the manager. That could also be a situation. So anyways, we'll continue with our discussion on the topics tomorrow. So till that time, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourself, and if there's any query, any doubt or observation, please do come up with it tomorrow.